Chapter 2, Part 3. Any word from Marge? Mom asked. Officer O'Malley last reported at 0800. Ho Honecker replied. Even since they got past the traffic jam, the trip had gone without the hitch. Wait, I said, concerned. Large Marge is with the panda. Mom gave a sharp stare, displeased with my choice of words. I mean, Marge O'Malley is with the panda, I corrected. She is tasked of providing security for leaping and rotate at Fun Jungle. Honecker explained. Really? I asked, unable to hide my shock. All of the people in security you sent Marge since the day I first arrived at Function. Marge was a thorn in my side. She said, insistently decided was trouble. Her thought process being one. I was a young boy, and two. All young boys were trouble. In her determination, I proved this. She had often ignored my actual misbehavior at the park guests. For example, littering, banging, and the glass exhibits for throwing food to the animals in order to catch me at crimes. She merely suspected I was committing. Eventually, played. Uh, Eventually, I played a few pranks on her to get her to back off. She produced and often expect I hoped for. Every time I had glued Merc's shoes to the floor or left gorilla poop in her locker, it had only made her determined to bust me. As a result, Marge had mistakenly tried to pin two major crimes at Fun Jungle on me, rather than looking for the real culprits. The first was the theft of the kazoo Kiola. Marge's failure to solve it was resulted in getting her demoted. The chief of security is a favor of Honecker. The second was Rash, the thieves at the candy and ice cream shops at Fun Jungle. Once Marge had realized I was responsible for those, either she had a nervous breakdown, she cried and admitted she never be able to prove it was as bad as I thought. She might as well give up. Unfortunately, it was only person who witnessed this afternoon. Marge pretended like I never happened. In fact, she seemed a bit angry with me. Witness her moment weakness. She had a bad mouthing, giving me stink eye, and trying a pin. Everything she went wrong. At Fun Jungles on me. All the proof to me was Marge was a very competent member of the security team. I would never have trusted her to guard a piggy bank. I left her alone something as important as a giant panda. But then I wasn't a chief of security. I know your differences of Officer O'Malley before, Honecker said to me. Differences, Mom echoed. She tried to send Teddy to juvenile hall twice. But when it comes to keeping an eye out for crime, Honecker continued. She had most vigilant member of my entire team. I needed someone vigilant on this mission to be alert for any signs of trouble. I cite aware there are some truths to this. Fun Jungles was a large. It actually qualified for incorrected city, which meant the security division was licensed police force. But sadly, it wasn't exactly Scotland Yard. Working in security at a zoo usually wasn't an exciting job. And so security at the zoo actually usually wasn't a very exciting job. And so most tended the exact guys who barely finished high school and who couldn't make a shortcut for real police, which explained why overzealous bonehead was Marsh could consider one of the most competent members of the force. What kind of trouble were you expecting? Summer asked. Any kind, Honecker replied. The panda's worth millions, and technically she's not even ours. She's probably of the Chinese government. So if I needed someone to sit with the driver of the truck and be alert the whole trip, O'Malley was the right one for the job. She probably was the only one who wanted to do it, Summer whispered to me. She's only in the cab of the truck, Dad asked. Not in the back with the panda, no windows in the back of the truck, JJ explained. You couldn't see any trouble coming from there. And besides, I needed Doc in the back, keeping an eye on Limping. That part I knew. Doc Dinkin was the head of the Fun Jungle and one of the finest zoo vets in the world. I had heard he wanted to send one of the vets who worked under him in the truck instead, traveling back of the semi didn't sound very enjoyable way to cross the country, but JJ hardly refused, insisting that pandas were concerned we needed the best man he had. So Doc was riding back in the sun of the whole day. I asked, it's not as bad as you think, JJ told me. In fact, we fixed things up pretty darn nice for both Doc and Limping. The entire interior was customized. Doc had a couch, a bed, and a TV and a DVD player. It's nicer than a lot of hotel rooms I see. Limping has her own separate area and all the bamboo she can eat. Frankly, it's probably been like vacation for both of them. I called Mom and Dad sharing a look. I appeared they didn't think Doc considered a vacation at all, but neither of said anything to JJ. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I heard Summer do the same thing, but someone was trying to reach both of us at once. It was pretty good idea who it was before I even checked my phone. I suspected it was Javier Gonzalez. Xavier Yahaziel Gonzalez. My best friend Javier was a animal fanatic who created his own zoo at home. His room was filled with aquariums holding lizards, snakes he caught in the woods, as well as fish, exotic small rodents. Every week, he spent the entire allowance on pet food. He instantly built a biologist. He liked my mother the way other kids recognize professional athletes. The text said, I I'm at the front gate. Summer and I both turned around. Sure enough, Javier was at the gates, pressed against the bars. Like almost everyone else, was wearing black and white Lee ears. No. To my surprise, his outfit was a tuxedo. He waved excitedly. And shouted something through I couldn't hear it. In the crowd, Javier's mother stood next to him, obviously there against her wall. A look on her face clearly said she'd rather back home in bed. Javier's here, I told my mother. Can I go say hi? Of course, Mom shouted, Javier, and waved at him. I'm gonna stay over here, Summer told me. I don't want to talk to you, I asked. Sure, but I do, but a few pandamoniums near Eastern looked to see who he was waving to, spotted Summer and shrieked. They seemed even more excited to see her than the panda. The words quickly rippled through the crowd that Summer was around. And soon everyone had whipped out their cell phones and started taking pictures. Even though they were all so far away from Summer, I could probably only be a doll in their photos. That's why, Summer finished. All right, I said. I say hi from me. Summer gave the crowd a friendly wave. Was started to roll for approval. She slipped behind the landscapes so they couldn't see her anymore. The park's chorus disappointed groans. I headed over to see Hasiel, feeling bad for Summer. She knew she was very lucky to be rich, but there's many times when her fame caused her trouble. She rarely had a chance to be anything normal, like eat lunch in a restaurant or play catch in a park, without total strangers accosting her. Instead of, she had either disguised herself or keep herself lustered. As I approached the gates, I felt a residual effects of her fame. Peter started shouting at me simply because I'd been near her. Who are you? Are you Summer's boyfriend or something? Can you get her to come over here to tell her I love her? I did my best to ignore them and focus on her still. I've been trying to get your attention for 5 minutes, the child, as I approached. Sorry, I said. Chatted as I approached. Sorry, I said, I didn't see you. I've been right here waving. I pointed toward the black and white outfit. Well, you started blending in with the crowd. Hesea grew offended. The people are wearing t-shirts. This is a tuxedo. I rented it just for this occasion. Do you have any idea how hard it is to find a tuxedo in my size? I had to go all the way to San Antonio to get it. It's still black and white. I avoided mentioning that. Despite all the trouble she's gone through to find it, it still didn't fit in very well. But then the probably doesn't make a lot of seasons have just that he's now not only was he a kid, but he was short and overweight, with a big belly, and stubby legs. While while the wristband of the tuxedo pants strained over his stomach, the sleeves and his legs were bunched loosely around his wrists and ankles. Before Hesiod could say anything else about his formal wear, his mother spoke. Teddy, do you know when this panda is actually going to get here? Several people ground echoed discussion soon, I said. How soon? He pressed. The blast of the air horn echoed in the distance, and a samurai rolled into the far end of the parking lot. The entire crowd toward it expectantly. How about now? I asked. The rumble of excitement began. A crowd surged toward the truck. As everyone moved away from the gates, it got a clearer vision of Limping's ride. It looked like almost every other tractor trailer I ever seen. If it had passed me on a highway, I wouldn't even look twice at it. I looked back toward my pants and saw that they along the summer JJ Holkener were now on the move. Crossing the entry of the plaza, Mom waved for me to join them. Quickly, I started after them. Wait, have you yelled at me? Is there any way you can let me and my mom in to see the panda? I don't even get to see the panda yet, I informed him. Although secretly hoping that might not be the case, they eliminated her contact of people so she doesn't get sick. Javier frowned, like what I was being a bad friend somehow. It made me feel guilty, even though I promised him anything. Sorry, I said. I ran after everyone else. The crowd was now amped up. I could feel energy welling off it. The pandamonium began to chant, Li Ping, Li Ping, Li Ping. TV comedians clambered onto the top of their news vans, film on the semi-truck.